Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, May 22, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know that that's been lacking your ear recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, we can see that there's no new tropical cyclones expected for the next 7 days. So that area that was highlighted across sections of the portions of the Turks and Caicos, north of Hispaniola right there yesterday, has now dissipated or lost its characteristics. So it's no longer deemed something of interest that could develop in the near future. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic, we still see that we have the trough and the low pressure still attached to that trough in the very same spot, but the hurricane center is no longer interested in that, considering the fact that it will be moving northeastward and possibly dissipating. We can also see that the entire Atlantic basin is still being dominated by a ridge of high pressure that's sending a lot of easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean, and we can now see that the main development region is dotted by two tropical waves that are moving from east to west across the main development region, and those will be crashing into sections of South America very soon. Taking a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with that trough of low pressure still spinning away right there off to the east of the Bahamas. We can also see clouds associated with another trough right there across portions of the eastern Caribbean. Lots of high level clouds being streaked off from southwest to northeast across the eastern Caribbean. And there's a lot of low level clouds with showers and thunderstorms underneath those clouds, bringing rainfall to sections of the Windward Islands, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago getting in some rainfall as well. We can also see the clouds associated with the tropical waves, not to mention clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone that are making their way across the main development region all the way into sections of South America. We'll be talking more about the weather across the Caribbean later on. Let's focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about Jamaica's weather for Monday. It was stated that we would have received some rainfall across sections of eastern, central and western parishes in Jamaica, with the bias of the clouds and rainfall across southern Jamaica. And what ended up happening? A post was made on our Twitter page at 4:26 p.m. highlighting some buildup of clouds across where eastern, central and western Jamaica, and we can see that majority of those clouds were being streaked off towards the south by that upper level wind shear. So we did indeed have that rainfall across those very spots, and we even had confirmation on our Instagram page by some of our followers. Kimura stating it was raining in Savlamar. Another commenter stating enough rain in Birds Hill, May Pen. Another commenter stating little drizzle in Waterford. And then another commenter stating rainy in wherever her area is located. And if we even take a look at the visible satellite images right now up to recording hour, we can see exactly what unfolded. We had that buildup of clouds across especially inland areas of eastern, central and western Jamaica. Then when they became the thunder clouds, they were being streaked off from the northwest to the southeast by that upper level wind shear. And even right now we still have some clouds right there across inland areas of some central parishes, so sections of Manchester still getting in on some rainfall as we speak. And we can also see that we even had some sparkling white dots in there that indicate some lightning flashes and thunderstorms across sections of central Jamaica, so clearing that it indeed got in on some amount of thunderstorms. Taking a look at the Doppler radar images right now, we can see some greens and some yellows within those greens that represent moderate to heavy rainfall still across sections of Manchester and St. Elizabeth at this time. Taking a look at the accumulated precipitation from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology for the past 24 hours, this indeed confirms the rainfall that we got, especially across inland areas of Jamaica, and then some of that being pushed off towards the south and the east, all courtesy of that upper level wind shear. Taking a look at the temperatures for tonight, we can see that we have 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that for the most part, Jamaica is in the clear. We're not embedded in any yellows that represent above normal temperatures or any blues that represent below normal temperatures. For the most part, both the Euro and the GFS models for 1 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see that Jamaica is in the clear. We should be receiving average temperatures, and the average temperatures for the month of May across Jamaica is 89 degrees Fahrenheit, and on the thermometer, that's the equivalent of about 32 degrees Celsius. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can still see that Jamaica is surrounded by a lot of blues that indicate that we still have a lot of moist air surrounding the island. Dry air, represented by the yellows, off towards the south across majority of the central and western Caribbean Sea, with the driest air indicated by the reds and the whites within those reds across majority of the northern section of the North Atlantic. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see that Jamaica is in the clear. Majority of the dust is still across portions of the Mediterranean region as well as sections of Africa. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that we still have some blues surrounding the island that are indicative of 1 meter wave heights or less. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS model, and that's due to the fact that we'll be still receiving weak winds, anywhere from 5 to 10 knots at most. And look at the direction that the winds are coming in from. We seem to be having some amount of southerly to southeasterly kind of flow. It is weak, but it's still there. And with this kind of flow, this reminds me of what we actually happened last week when we had that southeasterly kind of flow across the island last week, and then we had some amount of early morning rainfall around the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock times. So we could receive something similar to that again, with all of that rainfall coming in off of the sea and coming into sections of some southern parishes. So maybe sections of Kingston, St. Catherine, maybe Portmore, Manchester, southern St. Elizabeth, sections of St. Thomas might get on some amount of rainfall later on tonight. But look at where all of the air piles up. Look where we have the darker shades of blues. That's where we have the least amount of winds. That's where we might see the buildup of clouds and afternoon convection. And we see that across northern parishes in Jamaica on both the Euro and the GFS models. And considering that we still have that northwesterly wind shear across the island, we might get in on some buildup of rainfall and clouds across sections of northern Jamaica. And then if we have that cumulonimbus cloud across northern Jamaica, we might have those being streaked out towards the southeast by that upper level wind shear, bringing overcast skies to sections of some southern parishes. But the rainfall will still be on the north coast for tomorrow. And we do indeed have confirmation for that early morning rainfall. Look at this. This is 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we see some blues dotting the south coast of the island on both the Euro and the GFS. So we might get in on some rainfall coming in from off the sea. We shall see exactly what unfolds with that. That's 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 a.m. Jamaica time. So maybe sections of some southern parishes might get in on some early morning rainfall. Then skipping ahead to hours later, we can see that by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, majority of the island, we see some blues, but we have the darkest shades of blues across sections of inland areas of especially northern Jamaica, wherever we have that air piling up. So it makes sense that both models are showing the darkest shades of blues across northern Jamaica. That's where the afternoon convection is set to build up and drift across those spots. And we have confirmation on the Euro and the GFS models accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 24 hours. Both maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. And we do indeed see the consensus. We definitely have some rainfall to receive across sections of Jamaica for tomorrow. Both maps are showing the same. Look at what the GFS model is showing. That's all the rainfall on the south coast, especially in the morning hours, then across section of northern Jamaica in the afternoon. So we definitely have some rainfall to receive for tomorrow, and we're indeed grateful for that. We're trying to make up for all the rainfall that we've been missing thus far, and we're in our secondary rainy season, the month of May, where we usually receive up to 213 millimeters of rainfall across the entire island. And we're trying to get there, even although we're still in a drought, so we'll take all the rainfall that we can get. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see a lot of clouds right there across sections of Florida, not to mention sections of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, still receiving some amount of overcast skies, showers and thunderstorms. We can see a lot of cloud cover right there across sections of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, not to mention sections of the eastern Caribbean, anywhere from Guadeloupe southward, getting in on some amount of overcast sky showers and thunderstorms. So sections of Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago getting in on some amount of overcast skies, if not rainfall. And if we actually take a look at the Doppler radar images, we can see the rainfall being confirmed by what we saw on the satellite images. We see a lot of rainfall right there across sections of Puerto Rico coming in from the south, moving northward. And we know that the heaviest rainfall is represented by the yellows and the reds within the greens. The greens represent moderate or light rainfall, and the yellows and the reds represent heavy rainfall. We see a lot of that right there off the south coast of Puerto Rico, heading from south to north. Section of the British Virgin Islands getting in on some rainfall as well. Antigua, Barbuda, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Kitts, Guadeloupe getting in on some rainfall. Even if we take a look at the latest Doppler radar images, we see a lot of rainfall across sections of St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Dominica right now. And even at the Barbados radar, we see a lot of rainfall. Even got some reports of heavy rainfall today across sections of Barbados, bringing some isolated flash flooding to some spots. And they still have more rainfall to receive. Look at that. The Doppler radar even having a glitch right there with the amount of rainfall that they're receiving, all the bad weather. And more rainfall to come tonight into tomorrow. You can see a lot of rainfall across sections of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada as well. And even on the larger scale of Doppler radar images, we can see rainfall as far as Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, sections of Florida and Cuba as well. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that we have above normal temperatures to receive, if not average temperatures across majority of the Caribbean. And the below average temperatures seem to be right there across sections of Mexico as well as sections of the United States. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast, majority of the Caribbean should be in the clear for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, with all of the dust associated with the Sahara Desert across the main Devama region and Africa. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we still have those purples that indicate 2 meter wave heights or more right there across portion of the southwestern Atlantic Ocean. So right there off the eastern coast of the United States to the northeast of the Caribbean, we have those purples that indicate the strongest or the highest wave height. And that's due to the fact that the strongest winds, anywhere from 20 to 30 knots, will be across those very spots, with majority of the Caribbean receiving weak winds coming in from the east or the southeast for tomorrow. And with the weak winds, we know that we're going to be expecting the sea surface temperatures to increase. We have less winds to cool off the sea surface of the ocean, and we have more of the heating taking place by the sun. So definitely some more heating of the ocean waters that will lead to more, tropical development in the future, if we're not that drastically affected by the El Nino. And we see consensus on both maps with these wind patterns and wind strength. I know that when we have consensus, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, or from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday, we can still see a lot of rainfall being predicted, even up to 1 inch of rainfall as indicated by all of those reds across sections of Hispaniola, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico still to receive more rainfall, the US and British Virgin Islands, majority of the Leeward Islands, even areas southward, anywhere from Dominica southward, Martinique, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we see consensus on both the Euro and the GFS models. Even sections of Trinidad getting in on some of that rainfall, Tobago, areas southward, Costa Rica, look at those purples that indicate 3 inches of rainfall or more. Panama for the same thing. Colombia, eastern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana as well. Taking a look at the western portion of the basin, we can see some rainfall right there across the usual spots in central Mexico. However, look right there across sections of Guatemala, the Yucatan Peninsula, sections of Belize as well, getting in on some amount of rainfall for tomorrow. So we shall see exactly what unfolds with that. Either way, we know that when we have consensus, just like what we see right now, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.